Hey, Car Chronicles. So the question is why is it so hard to break a relationship up or break up in a relationship with a narcissist? Well, there's something that's called trauma bond. Trauma bond is a actual phenomenon that takes place when a person is traumatically bonded to another person. When you're traumatically bonded to another person, that person, or in this case, the narcissist, they take you through these influctuations and highs and lows and emotional roller coaster of emotions. The biggest thing is that they traumatically bond you by loving you really, really good and then abusing you really, really good. And I say good meaning bad, not bad meaning good. Okay, so I'm a rapper now. But let me refocus. But there are chemicals that are being released. There's dopamine, there's serotonin, and there's that chemical called oxytocin. Oxytocin, if you go look it up, is a chemical that's released that causes humans, to connect, to bond to one another, like a parent or a mother to a baby, or when you're having sexual intercourse, that chemical is released and you begin to bond with that individual. Well, those chemicals, the serotonin, that dopamine, that kind of helps balance you out, keep you from being depressed and give you that good mood. Well, those are all the things that are being tampered with. Let's say tampered with and released when you're dealing with this narcissist. When you're being traumatically bonded to an individual, for example, the narcissist, they you have that love bombing. You have that, remember the cycle of domestic violence or the cycle of narcissistic abuse, that idealization, the devaluation, the discard, the hoovering, the love bombing again. Well, all that causes you to have an influx of emotions up and down. And what happens is they actually use positive and negative reinforcement. They positively reinforce your behavior. In other words, they reward you for giving them what they want. So when they're abusing you, you don't give them money, you don't give them sex, you don't give them whatever it is that they're demanding of you, or irrational demands from you. Once you cave in and do it to bring the relationship or the situationship back into a perfect homeostasis, or you're trying to bring back the peace in the relationship, you get rewarded with things like attention, affection. Now I'm going to pay attention to you. Now I'm going to call you babe. Now I'm going to let everybody know how much I love you, and this is my baby. And so you're going to be, it's like being love bombed all over again, but you're going to get what it is that you want. It's like a drug addict. They get the high, even though it's not good for them. They get the high, they get the elevation in the mood, they get the, that feel good. So they reward you for complying or coming back into compliance and obeying them. So you get rewarded. Now click on part 2. Car Chronicles. Okay, this is part 2. Why is it so hard to break a relationship with a narcissist? So we were just talking about the positive and negative reinforcement. So the positive reinforcement is they're going to take all that information that you gave them previously in reference to what you like, what are your hurts, what are your hang-ups, and they'll use that against you. So if you don't give them what they want, they will use negative reinforcement, meaning they'll abuse you, they'll use what you said against you in order to force you back into compliance. And if you don't go back into compliance, it just elevates. And some of them get physically violent. So that's that negative reinforcement to try to force you back into compliance, to force you back into obedience. And then when you finally just say, I just want peace, I just want everything to go back the way it was, I just want him or her to love me like before. And then when you finally comply, you give them money, you do things that you know is uncomfortable. You do things that is out of character. That's why a lot of you get into these situationships and realize I'm doing things that is not even in character. I've lost my own self, but they'll reward you by giving you what it is that you so desperately want. Attention, love, affection, affirmation. They're telling people that, now you're being seen. They may even take you out. They breadcrumb you. So they give you a little something to in a sad, because they breadcrumb you. They give you a little something just to satisfy your appetite. And you want more and you want more, and they know you want more. And the way that they get more out of you is by continuously breadcrumbing you. We'll talk about that later on. But this is that bond, that traumatic bond that you have with this individual, and it's all emotional. Remember, a narcissist is a soul soul hunter. They hunt your soul, your emotions, your will. They try to override your will by superimposing their will. And it's hard to break up with a person that now you are so, traumatically bonded to through chemicals that are released in your own body. So that oxytocin that was released, the serotonin, the dopamine that made you feel good. You're constantly looking for that feeling. It's just like drug addicts. They're constantly looking for the first high. You're constantly looking for something that never existed in the first place. When they presented themselves to you, they presented you with an illusion, and you built up in your head what this illusion can be, only to find out that they are not who they are. But you're constantly looking for the first hit. You're constantly looking for what they first showed you, the first feeling that you got with them, and they're nothing that you ever expected, because what presented themselves to you was a billboard, was a calling card, and it never existed. It was a bait and click with the narcissist, a bait and click. This is what I'm going to show you, but this is not what you're going to get.